send another song.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 529. It's Friday, June 28, 2013, 2 p.m. Pacific Time. Internet talk radio for your imagination. Mike Matthews broadcasting from the last place on Earth, located somewhere in PodCastro Valley, California. Today we hear from Madame Rootabega, Valentino, Bison Bentley. Plus, we hear part 2 of my Into an interview with the lovely singer-songwriter GABRIELLE GRAVES.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And it can be safe to say that we here in Northern California are experiencing a big heat wave.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And in the Bay Area where people don't get much sun, that's kind of a scary thing to see people with their shirts not on. And you know what I think is also interesting is how Kate Upton, that's not how you say her name, she looks great even in black and white. She's in those Vogue pictures now. And they're really out of sight. Dang it. In color and with no color.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I guess I have a little thing for her. Whatever. And there was some BART news that I had to discover
Mike's
in a letter that they sent me via
podcast
email. They told me that BART's gonna strike. That service could be stopped by July 1st. Oh my gosh, next week, next Monday, yes, it is a strike with several of its unions. The contract between BART and several of its unions expire this weekend. And BART and its workers are, if they are unable to reach an agreement, there is a possible BART shutdown. No one will be able to use BART, and 400,000 people use it a day. And I use it quite a bit, but this email is advising me, since I have a Clipper card, and that's the way you use to get on BART, if you don't want to have to pay for your ticket each and every time, you do it like a pass type thing where you pay for it monthly type thing. And they're saying, look, you're going to have to use other modes of transportation. So good luck with you. It was nice knowing you. You're stranded. Oh, look, who just walked in. Hello, Michael Matthews. This is Madame Rootabega. Rootabega? Yes, Michael Matthews. I've changed my name just for today. All right, Madame Rootabega. This is really bad with the BART. Gosh. I don't know. I love using the BART. Well, I mean, I don't love it. It can be stinky and there's some weird people on there sometimes, but it works pretty well on the whole, except for when police officers are killing people and that kind of thing. But it could use some improvement overall. And the fact that it still succumbs to strikes, that's kind of bad. Yeah, I guess there's a lot of room for improvement. So what is it, Michael Masso? Is it room for improvement or no room? Definite room. Leave lots of room for improvement. And room for cream? What are you talking about? Look who else just walked in. Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino the Parking Attendant. And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that? Do you guys like Kate Upton? She's okay. Yeah, I've seen better. You have? Better in black and white. Yeah, Mike. Marilyn the Monroe. Oh, yeah. Well, you can't mess with the classics.
Kate Upton has those eyes that when she looks at you, you know she's thinking, I love bikinis. I would wear them all the time. Why doesn't everybody else wear bikinis? That's what she's thinking there.
Interesting. Wow, you're a mind reader. Mike, he reads my mind from time to time, especially when we're in the parking lot and it's 300 degrees like it is today out there, and I'm thinking, I don't like this job. Do you know that? I don't blame you. Well, Madame Rootabega and Valentino Bison Bentley, this is an interesting story. If you're a big Melissa Etheridge fan, a singer-songwriter who's written some cool songs, but she's 52 now. She battled breast cancer in 2004. And, well, she said something that may have miffed Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. You know, she and Brad Pitt have not spoken since he began dating Angelina Jolie. She sang at Brad Pitt's 2000 wedding to Jennifer Aniston. Yes, it's hard to believe Brad Pitt was married to Jennifer Aniston at one time, just 13 years ago. But she hasn't, she once said, there was some quote from her that she saw, the first time she saw Brad Pitt, she thought, you know what? Maybe I'm not a lesbian. for the Brad Pitt is good looking, apparently. So Melissa Etheridge had some things about breast cancer and Angelina Jolie, and she thought that that Angelina Jolie's decision to get a double mastectomy was, quote, the most fearful choice you can make when confronting anything with cancer. Well, she didn't mean that statement to reach Brad Pitt, she said on Tuesday. It wasn't meant for him or his wife. She said it was a bit of an oops, and she also said everyone's personal health is their own personal choice. She said she and Brad Pitt were actually pretty close before the Jennifer Aniston wedding. She says she has tried to reach out to him. She hasn't heard from Jennifer Aniston either. We all kind of got our families and went our own way, says Melissa Etheridge. It's funny, we were together and then it all went poof. When Brad Pitt was told about Melissa Etheridge's statements, he said that she's an old friend of mine. I'm sure we'll talk on the phone. So there you go, the Melissa Etheridge. Oh, dang it, I said there you go again. Ugh. So there you have it. Melissa Etheridge, Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, Jennifer Aniston. That love triangle hexagonal trapezoid. Michael Matthew, what did Melissa Etheridge sing? Come to my window. I'm the only one. Those were her two biggest ones. But I remember listening to her first album. I taped it off the radio. Some radio station was playing it one time all the way through. Had that song on there, Somebody Bring Me Some Water, which could pertain to today, actually, being that it's so warm. Michael Matthew, I haven't noticed the heat. My entire life is one big hot flash. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I love it. I never have to wear a jacket. Ooh. Well, that's good. All right, so what do you think of singer-songwriters having little controversies with their good-looking sex symbol friends? Email me. Oh, I guess that word works well there, friends. Email me, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. You can also email me there if you'd like to be a guest on the show or if you'd like to sponsor the show. And we read your comments on the section emails from email. That email, again, is mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. And we also have the website, mikesdailypodcast.com, where you can find links to where to listen to this show in iTunes. And if you listen to us there, subscribe to us there, and you can also rate the show and comment on the show there at iTunes. We also have links to where to find us on Facebook, YouTube, Yelp, Twitter. We're also on SoundCloud and Spreaker.com, and also at mikesdailypodcast.com. You can find the blog and the daily podcast picture. Oh, yes, and we were also interviewed. The show was interviewed on a blog. Somebody was interviewing me about this show, and you can read that interview there. We have a link to that at mikesdailypodcast.com, as well as the Amazon deal of the day. Yeah, buy something through that, and we get a little, just a tiny little bit of money. But you might find something cool at the Amazon deal of the day, which you can find at mikesdailypodcast.com.
Into an interview.
We're talking to the beautiful, wonderful Gabrielle Graves, who cannot take a bad picture. She has your pictures on your website. They're all stellar.
Oh, thank you.
And I like the bangs.
Thanks. I'm actually growing them out. They're kind of gone.
Oh, okay. The bangs are gone. The bangs went boom. But
yeah,
yeah, those are some great pictures.
Thank you very much. There's this wonderful gentleman who took them. His name's Russell Thomas, and he's a good friend of ours, and I asked him if he would go. I played with the band before, so I only had band photos, and so I asked him if he would take some quick solo shots, and he was really gracious and awesome, and he came up with some cool stuff.
Is that one of you that's black and white where you're kind of standing in front of, is that Los Angeles behind you or something?
Black and white, yeah, it is. That's LA, that's home.
Wow. So how about that North Hollywood?
How about it? It's something else. I'm, like I said earlier, I'm on Friday Harbor Island. I don't know if just everything on our road trip has just been so beautiful and green and breathtaking, and I don't know, it makes me speechless sometimes. And but where we are right now, we're on an island, which is kind of amazing. And we're staying in this house. When we were on our honeymoon last year, we met these amazing people that grew up on the island, and his grandparents built this house in the 90s, and it's like overlooks like the bluffs. Like you literally like walk out. Like we've had deer in our backyard, the backyard that we're staying in right now. And then you just like walk into the living room and it's just windows and you can just see the ocean right there. And it's it's just breathtaking. I'll post a picture of it on Instagram soon. But it's just insane. And, so North Hollywood doesn't, it's home, but it doesn't, it's different.
So I grew up in Van Nuys and North Hollywood in the San Fernando Valley. And I remember just how dirty and hot and dirty it would get. And then all of a sudden, like, there'd be a rainstorm once in a blue moon, and everything would be cleaned off just for a little bit. And it felt like a whole nice, clean little world, and then it get dirty again. But you're right.
Yeah.
The give and take is you're right there in the middle of the entertainment industry. I mean, you're seeing celebrities walking up and down streets everywhere. It's crazy. Or driving by. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But it is a dirty, I hate it place.
Yeah, I know. No, I agree. I'm trying to be nice, but it's not my thing either. It's not. I mean, you get a breath of air for the day of the rain and the day after, and then you can't breathe anymore. Yeah, I'm actually breathing quite nicely here.
Oh.
And everything smells good. Like I walk by dumpsters and I didn't even tell because it's just amazing. I love it here. I guess Steve Miller used to live here too.
Oh, really?
Which is, I'm a huge fan, which is pretty cool.
Some people call him the Space Cowboy.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Or the
I guess
Gangster Love.
the place that we played at actually it's called the Rumor Mill. And we played there last night, and then we played there the night before. Last night was kind of just like a jam session. Like Josh and I played a couple songs, and then there were just like maybe 20 musicians. I don't even know. Maybe it was just like 15 or 10, but it seemed like there were a lot. And everybody just picked up an instrument, and everybody like stood in a circle in the middle of the stage and just like sung at the top of their lungs. And it was such a cool experience. But he actually played at that place. He's like come and sat in a couple times and just played some blues for everyone. And I thought that was pretty darn cool.
Wow. Well, who would you like to record a duet with someday?
That's a great question.
Steve Miller.
I would have to say, if I could record a duet, I would think Sam Cooke. I think that would be a really cool experience,
Yeah.
I mean, if that were at all possible, which is not. But
yeah.
I think that would be. It's a good question. I've never been asked that.
He does have a truly amazing voice, and he had a great way of making a song just explode with soulfulness and just sounding so great. Well, you apparently have an uncle that helped you out a lot, huh? That taught you a lot about music and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And did he get you? How did you get into making music in the beginning? Did it have to do with him, or what was it that got you going?
No. I actually started on piano, and I started. It was just, I don't even know that I would consider that I started when I was like maybe 17, I guess, because it was just like I would just be upset, and like I was a teenager, and I'd go in my room and like write about stupid shit. and I stopped for a while because I just felt like I was really sucky, and usually you are when you first start, but I just had this thing that I just thought you were either good at something or you weren't, and so I stopped for a while, and so I don't really feel like I really started until I was maybe 21. And I picked up the guitar, and I didn't want to put it down. It killed my fingers, of course, but I felt like a strong connection to it, and it was also portable. So if my like lifelong dream, which is like so strange, but since I was younger, I would go to like boardwalks and I'd watch, street performances like buskers and stuff, and I've always been very inspired and just intrigued by someone just going and setting up in the middle of nowhere where there are people just walking everywhere, and there's so many distractions, and then they're just standing there and singing their music, and they're just there for that reason, and they planned that, you know. So I think that's something I'm gonna do when I get back as well for the first time. But I think that's kind of where it started. I just saw the joy that it gave other people, and I wanted a piece of that for myself.
Oh, cool. Wow. And okay, now there's this song here called Verbal Abuse. So I love this song. Tell me how it came about.
So I was in this really interesting relationship, and I think that's ultimately where it came from. I think it was something that.
And this is beyond the teenage years, right? This is you're older at this point.
Yeah, you know, I was in a relationship for a while, for like 5 years when I was younger. It was like I was like 15 to like 20-ish or 19 or something. Yeah, and it was it was tough, but it also emotionally and personally, like everything, it was just, I feel like I've been scarred from it. Not necessarily now. I feel like I'm kind of rising above finally, you know, years later. But it was a really, really difficult situation. And, you know, it's like one of the lyrics in it just went down to your house, knocked on your door. What did I see? And I mean, that's just very literal. Like that really happened. And I don't know why, like years later, I'm writing about stuff that I'm pretty much over, but it's just coming up, and it seems like it's coming up for a reason, and I think it's helping me release all these things and really rise above and truly get over it and dig down, and you know, I'm not afraid to like pull that stuff back up now, which means a lot, because I couldn't even listen to, you know, songs for a long time that I shared with that person, you know, let alone write songs about that person, you know, so. Oh,
don't you hate that? Oh,
yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh, that was my favorite song, and now I can't because that person took it.
Yeah, you're like, now it's awful. It's not awful, but I can't even stand listening to it. Or driving down the streets that we drove down together, or being in the same city that we were in together, driving by their house, because sometimes I'd have to, and you know, it's just, you know, things like that are kind of beautiful. So that song, it's, you know, it's pretty sad, and depressing. It just sounds sad, but it's to me, it's like it's a release, which is good, and yeah.
Well, I love how you sound on it. And it'll be on your 6-song limited edition EP, self-titled EP. And people can find out more about it at GABRIELLEGRAVES.com. Let's listen to it. Verbal Abuse. It's Gabrielle Graves on Mike's Daily Podcast.
Too many broken ties, too many roll that dice, and I shut the door on dreams before it opens, and I live my life through sacrifice, and I never think twice. I'm gonna spare you because I know your worth. We took many trips and spent time. I'm trying to learn. Sometimes those pieces fit with us. I don't think they did. We had to trust, but also learn when to quit. And although I said I never let you go, yeah, I think I have to now. I think we both know. You're gonna stand there. See me leave too. And I won't even go, cause you don't deserve my verbal abuse. much love, but still somehow you just don't understand this treatment you've been given. But I know, you still know life's worth living. Oh yeah. Although I said I'd never let you go, I think I have to now. I think we both know. Ow! You're gonna stand there and help me find what I'm looking for. You wanna watch me stumble out of that door. And I can't blame you at all, 'cause I wanna see me leave too. And I won't even go, 'cause you don't deserve my verbal abuse.
Gabrielle Graves and the song Verbal Abuse. And actually, the setup that she made for that song was actually the setup for the song we'll hear tomorrow. A song called You Did This, when we hear part 3 of our Into an Interview with Gabrielle Graves. But that is a great song. We'll hear actually what the setup is for the song we just heard tomorrow. So don't miss that as we go outside the last place on earth where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in PodCastro Valley, California.
And here's today's podcast picture.
PodCastro Valley, California is very close to the San Francisco Bay and the amazing island Alcatraz, which has a lot of history. It began as a fort defending the San Francisco Bay from international thieves that might be trying to steal the gold that was being mined out of the hills during the gold rush. And then it was used as a brig for Confederate soldiers during the Civil War, and then it morphed into a prison that we know all about from television and movies that have been made about Alcatraz. It closed down, I believe, what did we say it was, the anniversary this year? No? Yeah, March 21st of this year. It had been 50 years since it closed down and ceased being a prison. And then it turned into the Indian reservation. It was taken over for a while by Native Americans, saying that since this has been an abandoned island, we're going to take it over and we're going to fight for rights for the Native Americans. And then that ended, and then it became a park, which is actually free to go to the park itself. You do have to pay something like $70 now to ride the boat that takes you there, which is ridiculous because you can cross the San Francisco Bay on the Sausalito Ferry, which is where I took that picture from, for like $10. And with a Clipper card, I think it's $5 one way. But that's, the highway robbery that they cash in on the tourists, the people trying to get to Alcatraz. So many people visit that every year and check out that audio tour where you hear the guys all around. They do stereo, and they're like, and then the guy broke out of the jail, and he was right over there, and then they all shot him, and blah, blah, blah. And it makes it all like you're watching the History Channel or one of those other cable reenactment channels. The upcoming possible strike is with BART and not with the ferries. So you won't have to worry if you're in the Bay Area and you want to take a ferry, one of them boats. And why are you giggling? They're called ferries, and they go across the channel, and you can still take those, even though the people that are associated with BART are going to be striking. Possibly. We'll see what happens this weekend. But check out that picture that I took of Alcatraz as the sun was setting, and the cool people, the captain of the ferry, stop giggling, got really close to Alcatraz that time. I've taken that ferry a couple times, and this time was really close, so I made sure to take a bunch of pictures, and that was a kind of a cool shot that emerged. You can see it at mikesdailypodcast.com.
You know what, Mike? I think I would have been a good convict day at Alcatraz, because I'm kind of threatening day.
Yeah, the both of us. We're really threatening.
Do you know that?
No, I actually did know that. You guys come off as really nice, approachable people. I don't find you intimidating at all.
Not even when I give you this here scowl day?
No, that scowl didn't particularly affect me at all.
Okay. Well, we thank you for your feedback day.
Yeah, we appreciate it because we care.
Do you know that?
Tomorrow we will bring you the segment Into an Interview with part 3 of my interview with Gabrielle Graves. Plus we'll hear from Shelley Shuhart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere the Engineer.
Michael Matthew, I haven't noticed the heat. My entire life is one big hot flash. Oh!
You know, you can take medicine for that.
Why should I? I already get them.
Okay, never mind.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com.
Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye!